So I'm with my mentor. So let's talk about your background a little bit.
I'm originally from Monroe, Louisiana, of course. I went to Wiseman High School, graduated in '96, went to undergrad at Memphis College of Art, went to grad school at Ole Miss, and between there and now I came home and I've been doing a lot of residencies.
What's that?
Residencies kind of set up like for the arts, it's kind of like they give you time and space to kind of work. Some of them give you a little cash on the side, some of them just give you that space to do work, and they introduce you to like people in the industry. You get to meet other artists that's doing the same thing, it's got the same interests as you have as far as you know, in the arts and networking and all of that stuff. So it's kind of like a little place where you get to do a lot of different things. Different residencies are set up different ways. So, you know, it's all kinds of different ones out there.
Okay.
Kind of like the music, you know, like how music kind of work. It's kind of like one of those like little up and coming type of things. Like it's that type of space. It's super competitive. Some of the residencies I've applied for have been like 1,600 people apply for it, maybe 6 to get in.
6 to get in?
Yeah,
out
60.
Of 60.
Yeah.
But 60 out of 1,600.
That's a lot, right? It's super competitive.
Yeah.
And then some 800, some 400.
What's it qualified to get in?
You just got to be good at what you do.
Okay, so it's based on talent. It's not like
it's talent.
You can buy your way in. It's not like a school. It's not like a.
It's not. It's like it's really like a reward for hard work. You know, you're getting out, grinding. You meet people, all of that stuff. It's just a reward, man.
Is it based off of who you know as well?
Some of it could be based off who you know.
Okay, like referral type of thing.
Yeah. I think it's important. That's all walks of life, though, right? You gotta have somebody know some good people sometime to get into some key spots. But it's really more like you know you working hard, and even the people that refer you gotta understand it's a lot of people asking for that referral too. And with the people that's gonna refer you, they see a lot of different people come in and out. So if they give you a referral, they know that you've been working. So they respect what you do.
Do you meet like artists? Do you meet like investors? Like what's out there?
It's less of a collector's like thing. Like when you meet people that gonna invest. Some places you do have the sponsors and stuff like that do come through, but the donors or whatever you want to call them. But it's a lot more. You meet other artists. You meet people that's in the industry. It's like going to like the music conferences and stuff sometimes.
Okay.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's not as flashy, but you know, art folks are really pretty much the folks that, you know,
make the ground show.
Yeah, they inspire people to do all kinds of other stuff anyway. So a lot of times you meet all kinds of people from all walks of life. And for me, like when I go do residencies, I make sure I go, you know, I'm from the hood.
Yeah.
So I like to go in the hood. I like get out and go, you know, mingle amongst like normal people. I try to find like that community that's there, that's similar to my community. Okay. So I'm gonna make sure I get out and go to the.
So you don't just stay in the studio all day?
Nah, I can't do that. Like that's not how I make work anyway.
How do you make work?
Like my work is based on like everyday stuff, like everyday people. My work is inspired by like interactions with folks. You know what I'm saying? Like I can have a conversation, and that inspire my work. It's kind of like how like if you listen to Ludacris, like. I think Ludacris is like one of those dudes. That's why I don't think his work, his music is all over the place, because he inspired by everything. Yeah. So he can be driving down the street and that inspires something. And that's kind of like how my work is. It could be something that happened in the news. It could be a conversation that I had. It could be a song that I listened to. You know, it could be something my mom said a long time ago that's just starting to come to me, or something my grandmother said. You know, a conversation I had with my dad, you know, so that's what my work is. So it's kind of hard for me to just sit in the studio all the time and that inspired me to make work. I'm more inspired by like interacting with people and being out and amongst things that's going on.
Like, where are the residencies based? Like, where do you go different places, or is it Louisiana, or is it Monroe? Like, where do you go?
Nah, the residency thing, well, I'm in a residency here in Monroe at the Master Museum.
There's a residency in Monroe?
Yeah. I'm at the Master Museum. I'm in one now.
Okay.
And, but they usually, like, it's all over the country, and if you're not, like, really in the art world, you don't know as much, but they have, the one I just came back from was in Florida. In Inglewood, Florida, which is outside of Sarasota and Tampa. And then I was in another residency in Omaha, Nebraska, which was called Bemis. And before that, I was in Massachusetts at what's it called? Mass Mocha. And then before that one, I was in New Orleans at the John Mitchell Center. Okay. So they all over the country.
And how many you did so far?
I'm around like 8 to 10, something like that.
10?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Piling up.
Yeah.
And you still doing more?
Yeah, I got one set up in the fall, not in the fall, in the springish. It's in February. That's considered the spring in the residency like field. Like it's a fall, spring, and then you got summer. So I'll be doing that one in it's called Anderson Ranch, and it's in Colorado, outside of Aspens. Yeah. So yeah, I try to stay busy. I apply for a lot of stuff. If you get 1% of everything you apply for, you're doing good. You know,
pretty good, yeah. Especially if you apply for a lot,
right?
You steady putting your neck out there,
right?
And you finna go out there in Colorado and get inspired.
Nah, I don't. I don't even smoke, so I could sit around somebody else smoking, but I ain't gonna be smoking.
Catch that secondhand. What you working on? You meet some of the same people at different ones?
Yeah,
or
man.
Is it always like
actually
different?
Yeah, one of my you meet people. Everything kind of like, it's a small circle. That whole 6 degrees of separation, like that's true. Like you always meet somebody. Sometimes you like I've done a couple residencies where the same people. It's one person that I met in Skowhegan that I met. We're in a residency in New Orleans together, or like Naeem. Me and Naeem was we met in New Orleans. I had been looking at his work for a long time, and then we end up in Omaha together. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then like, so you always meet different artists.
So you meeting people like that you kind of be looking at on the low.
Yeah. Okay. Because like I'm always like, even when I deal with my students, I'm always talking about like it's a thin line between teacher and student, because that,
you told me that before.
Yeah, that changes, that the dynamic changes over time. So like even people that you look up to, like as you climb that ladder, you become somebody else looks up to. Because I met a guy and he was like, man, I know you and I know your work, and I was like, man, what? Yeah. It was kind of weird, you know what I'm saying? So it's a real thin line between how that stuff kind of work anyway.